Hello everybody, Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. All right, so let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Danielle Gates and Yohan Geronimo, and there's going to be multiple parts of this video today, but mainly we're going to go over what went down during part 2 of the 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way Tell-All. Because, you know, I found it quite interesting. I found Danielle's allegations, accusations, and her so-called receipts. I found them quite interesting and perhaps a little bit lacking. Now, during part 1, we kind of saw more of the same. During the previews, we saw more of the same. So this has been going on for a couple of weeks, even going back to before the tell-all started, which was Danielle in her room in the DR, saying that she got messaged by a woman that supposedly was dating Yohan and had been dating him for over 2 years, going back to 1 month before Danielle and Yohan got married. Now, my issue, and I don't want you guys to misunderstand me or this video, I do not support Yohan. I just want to put that out there. I think he is a sanky-panky, and I think he was looking to use Danielle and to try to take advantage of her financially or any which way that he could, but likely financially. So I just want to get that out of the way. However, my issue is that I feel like these two people, I feel like they're meant for each other. I feel like these are two toxic people that are looking to use each other. And I think that Danielle is trying to use this tell-all as a way to dump on Yohan and clear her name of any wrongdoing in the whole thing. And I just don't really fully buy everything that Danielle has to say. I really think this is the biggest issue for me. I feel like she knew what Yohan was about and still went along with it. And there's a few reasons why that's the case. I think, and I've said this before, Danielle really desperately wanted to be on the show for multiple seasons. We know that she had financial trouble in the USA. We know that she had some bankruptcy problems. She had money problems in the USA. So when you look at it and you think about it, getting that $1,500 or whatever it is per episode when you're on 90 Day Fiancé, let's say it's $1,500 or $2,000 you get. When you live in a country like the DR where the cost of living is way less than in the USA, that can go a long way. And in my opinion, Danielle wanted to live the charm life, at least for some time, in the Dominican Republic and not really have to worry about, normal responsibilities that people in the USA have to worry about. There's also some other things that she said that were slightly, they kind of raised some red flags, which is that supposedly her and Yohan had a threesome. And so then I'm wondering, well, if that's the kind of life that you're living, then where are the boundaries being set? Like if Yohan is having sex with you, and I'm assuming here, just assuming that it was another woman that was in the threesome, where exactly are the boundaries in this relationship? Because it feels like this was more a relationship for lust than for anything else. So let's take a look at basically what happened here. So, there was no hope for Danielle and Yohan to salvage their marriage, though she met for dinner with him and his family just days before the tell-all special. And this is the other part, guys. And I don't know, you guys will tell me what you think about this, but, I've said it before, Danielle gives all these really confusing signals, and I want to be on her side. I want to say Yohan is a sanky-panky that just used Danielle, that betrayed her. She never saw it coming. But then let's just go over this because this makes no sense to me. And you guys will tell me what you think about this. So she met for dinner with his family days before the tell-all, supposedly, with Yohan and his family, the man that supposedly cheated on her, not just with one woman, but now she's saying up to 50 or 60 women. You guys tell me if that makes any sense. And then she said that I do it because his family is important to me, because I want to make sure that he's okay and he has what he needs. So she says this at the tell-all after accusing this man of using her of all of the worst things, of being a sanky-panky, trying to expose him to other women as well, trying to basically trash him on social media. And then she's saying, well, you know what? I like his family, and I want to make sure that he's okay. And the only thing that I can take away from that is that she's basically still financing him, and she refuses to get divorced from him, and she still has that huge tattoo on her arm because we'll show you a picture that's very recent. She still has it as of this day. And so then I'm wondering, none of this makes any sense. Like, is Danielle crazy? Like, what exactly is she saying? What is she doing? Why can't she just keep a straight story? I don't get it. And perhaps you guys have opinions on this. Please let me know what you think, because I can't make sense of any of this. So she was still keeping tabs on his alleged mistresses and the woman that he continued to bring home after they got married. Danielle said that she couldn't completely keep track of how many women Yohan has cheated with, explaining, I have a lot of screenshots, but probably close to like 50 or 60. She told the group that she has unrestricted access to all of Yohan's social media accounts because she was the one who made the passwords. And she was using that access to build a case against Yohan that he didn't know about. He wanted cash from every single one of these women that he reached out to because he was collecting money. Don't ask me where it is, because the fact that he says that he paid for everything is straight comedy. She added he has multiple women that he's in a relationship with right now that think that they're the only one. Yohan denied it all and claimed that Danielle may have paid the women off to lie about him. I don't know if she paid them or what, and now she wants to put all that out there because she was the one who messed things up. Now she wants to clear her name and act like a saint. There was also an ongoing question over whether Yohan ever invited other women to their apartment. He denied that too, but Danielle pointed to some fact of the pool floats at Move as proof that a guest she didn't know about had been to their home. So a couple of things here. I'm not sure that the last part really is, like, she said she had receipts. That's not a receipt. I mean, that could have been moved. Who knows? Maybe they had somebody come and clean the house while she was gone. We don't know. Maybe Yohan himself went and moved. Who knows? It's possible Yohan brought another lady there. I would definitely not put it past him. But to act as if that's hardcore evidence that, another woman was at the apartment, that's just very weak to me. That doesn't really pass the test. So the other thing that she says, that she created Yohan's social media. And this is the part where I don't get why Danielle just waited until basically the end of the season and the tell-all to drop all this. She had access to all this information for a long time, and she's acting like she's just so shocked that he could do this. You guys remember that episode? I never believed that this man could do this to me. Yet, at the same time, she had access to his social media and was building a case against him just for the tell-all so that she could clear her name. I think Danielle is lying. I don't really buy her story. I think Yohan is a sanky-panky, and I think that he was probably trying to get money from other women, but I don't buy that Danielle had no clue whatsoever. She is kind of exposing herself for lying about that by saying that she had basically, created his social media and had unrestricted access, created the passwords and everything. She's the one that managed it. So how long had that been going on? Well, I can tell you that his Instagram is up, or at least the oldest picture is up as of 1 year ago. So it's been going on for at least 1 year, probably longer, that Danielle at least had some idea about this. In my opinion, she knew about this from the get-go, because this is what happened, guys. Danielle met him when he was working at a resort. He was basically a sanky-panky from the get-go. And what is a sanky-panky? Well, basically, it's a guy that's going to meet women, foreign women, from the US, from Canada, from other Western countries. And these people are coming there. They have more cash. They're tipping people. They're flaunting their money around. And basically, they're there for like 1 week or 2 weeks. That's generally how it works. So Yohan, as a sanky-panky, he meets these women, and then he tries to create a connection to get money from them, either while they're there or afterwards. So once they leave, a new batch of women come in, and basically that is more opportunity for the sanky-panky to basically get and extract more cash from other unsuspecting women. And that's the business model here. Basically, when you work at a resort and you're a sanky-panky like Yohan, you have access to countless amounts of women that are coming at the resort, and you can tell them that you love them and all that stuff. And, it's a numbers game at that point. So the more women that you talk to and that you feel like you make them feel like you love them and all that, I guess that's the idea behind this whole thing. So Danielle basically met him this way. I think she knew right off the bat he was a sanky-panky, and she tried to get him to quit his job because he knew, or at least she knew, that this is the business model. If he works there, he's going to try to get other ladies to give him money and whatnot. And so she tried to make him quit. He did quit. However, I'm guessing that the money that she was providing him, the money from the show or whatnot, was just not enough to make him exclusive. But basically, this is a bit like a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, like, like Jasmine and Gino or other people. And basically, Danielle was supposed to provide for him to kind of take him off of this path, I guess, so to speak, or this job. And she just didn't. But she knew what she was getting herself into. I really don't buy that she had no idea. The more she talks, the more that she's incriminating herself, and the more that her story doesn't make any sense. I think she wanted the Sankey Panky. I think she wanted to change the Sankey Panky and turn the Sankey Panky into a husband, which is a fool's errand. It's completely stupid. And she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. And I was crying that, oh, well, I was completely betrayed. I had no idea any of this was happening. And woe is me. I don't know, guys. Maybe that's just the way that I take it. But the more Danielle speaks, the less that I'm really tempted to believe her story. I think she kind of wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. And even after, putting out all of these accusations against him, she's still going to see him and his family. Don't forget that supposedly the other lady that she spoke about that, wants to date Yohan and is willing to pay for Yohan and Danielle's is basically, breaking up, I guess, or their divorce. That other lady supposedly also went to his family. And I'm not sure if she met the mom or whatnot, but she still supposedly sent money to the family and even met them at some point. So I don't know. This story just doesn't really pass the smell test to me. You guys will let me know what you think about that. And if we look at this other article right here, so Danielle ignored red flags and warnings from friends, rushing into marriage with Yohan, who was likely using her for a visa. Danielle and Yohan had little in common, with their relationship based mainly on lust and fetishization. Yohan eventually reverted to his original plan of scamming American women for money, leaving Danielle in a difficult location. So when Danielle Gates appeared on Love in Paradise, she was deeply in love with a man she had met during a resort stay in the Dominican Republic. Yohan Geronimo worked at the resort where she was staying, and the two began a fast and furious relationship. So, that's basically how they met. He was a Sankey Panky working at the resort, and Danielle was one of these gullible women that fell for him. And you have to believe that she knew what she was getting herself into, but she was hoping to change him. She emphatically described the moment she first laid eyes on Yohan walking through the resort lobby and how he proposed a month after they began seeing each other. Their relationship had tons of red flags immediately. She claims to practice Ifa or Ifa, a religion that was born in Yoruba land, modern-day Nigeria. The religion is an indigenous one. And somehow Danielle, who has not been open about her ethnicity, became a practitioner. Yohan, on the other hand, is a devout Catholic and wants nothing to do with her spell work. Before going back to the DR, Danielle visited her Babalawo, an Ifa priest, who said she had to do a special ritual to ensure she and Yohan's relationship would work. He said that Yohan could not eat peanuts for a certain amount of time for their relationship to succeed. She strongly warned against eating peanuts. So what did Yohan do? Ate the most expensive peanuts he could find the same day she told him not to eat them. His disregard for her beliefs and their relationship became clear basically right from the start. But that's not all, because friends warned Danielle not to rush into marriage with Yohan. Danielle and Yohan's marriage, they got married despite all the glaring warning signs. Before moving to the Dominican Republic, her friends were adamant that she should wait to marry Yohan until she was certain of his personality. They expressed concerns that Yohan proposed to her quickly because he wanted to use her to come to the USA. They also referred to him as a Sankey Panky. And according to one expat blog, a Sankey Panky is a man who is going out with a foreign woman with the sole purpose of extracting as much money from her as possible. Some will also be looking for a visa to get out of the country. Love does not come into it, and when the woman has outlived her usefulness, she will be unceremoniously dumped for a newer and richer model, by which stage she will probably have spent thousands of dollars on her Dominican men. That kind of describes Danielle Gates to a T. So, basically, her friends were kind of right to be concerned because everything they said would happen happened. Yohan was looking forward to moving to the USA, but of course Danielle told them that she was not going to be, applying for his K1 visa, but instead, basically, she was going to try to apply for a tourist visa, which I think is when the last kind of problems, at least on this season, started happening because, we went from last season when things ended up disastrously for the two of them. Danielle basically Yohan dumped Danielle at the tell-all, and then they kind of came back and everything was good, which made no sense. But then things kind of started spiraling a little bit out of control, and this relationship kind of reached a dead end pretty quickly after that. So Danielle wanted Yohan to be a plaything. The one thing fans noticed immediately while watching their segments was that the pair didn't have much in common. She's 10 years older than Yohan, and she was in an entirely different space in her life. She had a child already and was enjoying her life as a single woman. She had a pretty good life in New York City, whereas Yohan was still building his own life. They do not have religion in common, and it seems like the only activity they both have in common is sex. And Danielle loved bragging about sex with Yohan, and who is 6 feet 7 inches. He's a tall drink of water. Danielle loved talking about Yohan's body and, of course, the size of his manhood and their compatibility in the bedroom more than anything else. She acted like she was a woman in love, but it seemed more like a woman in lust. She kind of acted like a bit of a sex tourist, in my opinion. She basically just wanted to kind of use Yohan for his body because he was younger. And, she did kind of want to, I think, marry and change them, but it's really hard to change a Sankey Panky into what you want. And when it doesn't kind of turn out your way, I think that you have nobody else to blame but yourself. People on Reddit are kind of, people don't really like Danielle all that much. And I think a big reason for that, and like I said, I want to support Danielle. I want to say this girl was betrayed. This girl was lied to. This girl went into the relationship and she was totally blindsided by this mean Dominican man that just wanted to use her and just, played her along the whole time. I just don't know that that's true, guys. I just don't. It doesn't feel that way. And Yohan multiple times was quite open about what he wanted from the relationship. I want a visa. I want a house. I want a car. I want. Of course, that's not right. And that's not a good partner, obviously. But it's not like he wasn't upfront about it long before this current tell-all. And so, I don't know, guys. I just, Danielle, she gives me headaches. I got to be honest with you guys. When I read her stuff, I've said this before, she talks in circles. She'll accuse Yohan on one hand, and then she will say, well, I still want to help him, and, it's not so bad, and I like his family and everything. It's just so infuriating to read her, and just her behavior and her mentality makes no sense. I really think at the end of the day, this relationship was done, and basically she was using him as much as she's trying to portray him as the bad guy, and he is, of course. She was using him to be on the show, and I think that the reason why she was compiling all of this documentation, this case against him, was because she knew long before this current tell-all, or when they broke up on the show, she knew long before then that she was going to drop all this information because she had hinted, or she had smelled, that the relationship was done at some point way before when they actually broke up for the second time. So that's my opinion, guys. I really dislike Danielle's way of communicating. I don't like what she's saying, and I don't know why the cast didn't really push harder on her, because what she was saying didn't really make a ton of sense at the tell-all, but none of the other cast members really seem to have an issue with it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about the whole Danielle thing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that Danielle had just as much to blame in her relationship falling down or falling apart as Yohan? Do you think that Danielle knew who Yohan was and still went along with the relationship, hoping maybe to change him, or hoping just to get more out of TLC in terms of paychecks to come back on the show? Do you think that that's what happened, or do you think that she was completely blindsided, had no clue, and is just a complete victim, which is really what she's trying to portray on the tell-all? Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below for more content right here on the channel, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.